Look at the lights, watch them ignite, heart in the sky.
Hi everybody, I thought I'm gonna show you an updated version of the workflow. I changed a few things in it and I kind of corrected a few things that I may have not noticed or may have thought that it would be fine because the original workflow was made by KGI. Basically, what I changed. First thing first, this one, some people had an error because I used my own song and my own song started at like 105 seconds, right? That's what the start index for me was because I wanted to create like a singing scene, and that's why I had it on 105. But because some people put a shorter clip into it, like I don't know, 15-20 second long video or audio, I guess audio, 20-second long audio, what they pulled into this node. A 20-second long audio is probably not gonna start at 105. And because it was thinking like, hey, there's no 105, what is happening, and give them an error. That happens because you don't set the start index to 0 or wherever you want it to start and be inserted into your video. Like, I'm gonna leave the start index on 0 with this one, okay? And then the value. So the value is always going to have to match up with this. I mean, it's not like, it's not like 100%, but I think it's recommended to match exactly. 10 seconds supposed to be 240 frames. The plus one is obviously the one that all the models need because they all need like an extra frame. I think it's just because of the starting frame or something like that. I'm not really sure why. I don't remember if I put this down to 25, but I read into it and they say that the most optimal settings are actually not lower but higher, like 33 or 40. And it's sometimes because the motion of the image is probably not enough. So you would have to play between the number of 33 and 40. I thought if you lower it, it's better, but apparently sometimes for some people, if you use a certain image, it could just be like a still image that just zooms in. Apparently that's what's causing it if you actually put this number too low. I guess it makes sense because it needs motion and it needs noise. And then there's the image and a video. I put in like a video upload model because node, because I thought, oh, okay, so I mean, you can start with an image, but if you already have like a video, you can just load up a video and just pull this into the image, and then you have your video. I set it to 1 frame, and obviously I'm using the 10-second long videos from here, from this workflow, and the last frame is going to be the 240th, so I have to skip 239 frames to get to the 240th frame, and then load that one up, and then send it through the workflow. I have this resize image node here that for some reason I didn't really think about it, and then just let through in here, which is fine because the size was fine, but the raw image was going from here to here, which is not necessarily fine. Every image that people put in could be a different size. So I could create some issues with the created videos, and sometimes there could be some mismatch between the two videos. So what I did is that I used this node to unify the two images, and then I added this node, which is going to shrink down the longer size of the video, which means it's gonna be dividing by 4 if you leave it on 960, if you are using a full HD image. And then from here, it just goes up to here, where I made sure that, I mean, it's not gonna do anything, this node, if you have like a full HD image, but it's going to make sure that it's going to be full HD. If you don't want full HD, you can change this number down to anything, like, I don't know, 1280, it's like HD ready, or you can have this one on 960, and then the first node, you can just have it on like, I don't know, 600. And that's it. Like, you have like a smaller image. I don't think you're gonna need that after the trick I'm gonna show you. So just stay tuned for that. there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be a very happy customer today after you set that thing up. So let's go to that. So I am in my comfyui folder. Your comfyui folder is gonna be wherever you put your comfyui environment. I am almost sure that, sorry, that was just my plate. I am almost sure that this is going to be the same for portable users, but I'm like only 90% sure. But you would need to find your folder called comfy, and you would have to go in here, and then you would have to find your supported models.py file. And in this file, there is a line that you would need to change. This is the line, self memory usage factor equals, and yours would be, I think, equals 0, 6, and 1. Now, I put this up to 0.16 for me, because I have a 5090 with 32 gigs of VRAM. Most people might need to put it up to 0.2. When you put it up to 0.2, your VRAM handling by comfyui is going to change. For me, it trusts a little bit more in my video card, so it can actually control the VRAM itself a little bit better and either load in or unload things that it doesn't need. And if you have enough RAM as well, it's going to be a great success, because it's going to create some really good videos for you on a really, really big size, or reasonably okay size, but really long videos. I wouldn't recommend going over maybe 20, because as far as I know, what I read about LTX, it could potentially kind of fall apart, or at least lose a little bit of quality if you go over the recommended settings. Right now, the most recommended setting, the highest resolution and the longest video is 20 seconds on 1080p. I mean, full HD, 20 seconds. And honestly, 20 seconds rendering it on a 5090 right now with the workflow that I'm using is going to take a time. So this workflow is pretty good. Like, if you look at the video itself, I didn't use too many steps. I used like 8 steps for the first sampling, I think, and I used 5 steps for the second sampling, so the upscale sampling. You can also see that it has like a bit of AI-ish look. Now, that happens because of the image that you're using. For this video, I used an image that I generated with Flux. And because I generated the image with Flux, you can kind of see that it's Flux, because LTX video is a little bit different than, let's say, for example, one video. LTX is really trying to be super accurate to the input image that you gave it. But that also means that it's going to inherit a bit from the model that you have created the image with that you may use. Like, for example, in my case, Flux. But I have seen people using Z-Image Turbo and then inputting those images into LTX. And when LTX is trying to follow Z-Image Turbo, the subject might be in sharp focus, but a lot of times Z-Image Turbo actually generates a really blurry background. that means you have maybe a nice shallow depth of field, or you may have a kind of blurry image, which is kind of annoying, because if you think about it, sometimes the people are moving, and sometimes the model tries to be very accurate to certain type of camera motions and camera functions, and when someone's moving, it means sometimes they may move out of focus. But then you have a Z-Image Turbo image where your subject moves out of focus, and then because the background is not in focus, then nothing is in focus, which I actually experienced with some of the first videos that I generated. You can even see it on my other YouTube video. It looks good, but she moves in and out of focus sometimes because she's moving too much. Oh yeah, I want to show you something else. This is also really important, because I have seen people who just turned it off for some reason. Please, for the love of, I don't know, almighty Zeus, like, or whoever, do not turn this LoRA off. And the reason I changed the LoRa to 0.6 back, because it was on 0.8 for the first workflow, is because I didn't have the detailer LoRa, and I thought this was like adding more details, but this is just kind of responsible for the video not being all kind of mushy and blurry mess. And this is not the detailer. This is something else. It's kind of like a glue that holds everything together. And this is the detailer LoRa. All of them, like all of these LoRas that I have here, you can literally just download from the official LTX Hugging Face site, right? Like you don't need to go anywhere else. I think there should be like links for that thing. Do I have the links in the... No, but if you drop the workflow into comfyui, I'm going to put this workflow up to like CVTI and put a link down in the description. So if you drop the workflow in, comfyui should tell you that, hey, you don't have these LoRa's, do you want to download them? And in theory, it's going to give you a link. It's super important to not turn this off, and super important to not crank it up or crank it low. Definitely don't crank it low. It has to be at least on 60. And if you want to crank it a little bit higher, I guess you can. I'm not sure if you need to, but it's fine. What I noticed that when it was higher than 60, I got like a bit of overly saturated or maybe even overly sharpened stuff. So maybe don't really mess around with it, especially when you have the detailer LoRa in your workflow. Because after I put the detailer LoRa in, it was completely unnecessary for me to put this up above higher than 0.6. It's just not worth it. No need for it. The rest of the stuff is actually the same. Step counter. I still have the manual sigmas here if you want to use this node. I generated this video only with 8 steps. Like I literally just put it down to 8 steps. I put this up to 12 steps because I wanted to test it if it's gonna look better on 12 steps or not. But then I kind of zoomed in on it and I was like, you know what? It's actually good. Like I don't find anything too bad on this one. I mean, maybe behind her hair, the background a little bit kind of fuzzy a little bit, but that's the background and it's a motion image. So, well, I mean, a motion, like a video, moving video. So I guess that's kind of okay. Like if I look at it, this is really good compared to anything else that I have done in AI before. I mean, there was like a few good results, but this is really good. And that's about it. And then after you change the file, you're good to go. Like you're good to go with your full HD or whatever you want to create. I'm not gonna say that it's going to create miracles for very, very low VRAM model, very, very low VRAM video cards. Like I don't really know if it's gonna work with like 8 gigabytes, right? Like I'm not gonna promise miracles, but I have seen people who have said that they have 16 gigs of VRAM on their card and they have 32 gigs of RAM or maybe 64 gigs of RAM, and they are able to do HD, which is like blows my mind. Like they can just do the same thing that I do on a 5090. Yeah, maybe a little bit slower, but I mean, honestly, as long as you can do full HD, this video workflow with LTX video is just going to give you a good result. It's not gonna give you bad. I mean, yeah, you can create bad results, but that just means that you have something set up wrong, or you have like the wrong file downloaded, or the wrong LoRa turned off or on. So yeah, thanks for watching. And do you guys want to join like a Discord or something? I'll put like a link down in the description if you guys want to join my Discord. I don't really have anything on it, just me and my friends sometimes talk. But if someone wants to join and then you guys want to do some AI stuff, I have some people who are very much interested in AI in the Discord anyways. And yeah, let's just hang out or do something. I don't know. Okay. I don't know, if you want to subscribe, I guess you can subscribe. Bye.